So welcome everyone to the Mastermind Book Club. And today's episode, we are reviewing the book, Unstoppable Confidence. Are you confident? I hope you are. I believe you are. I don't hope. I know that you're confident. What's holding you back? There should be nothing holding you back. There should be nothing that's keeping you from getting what you need. As long as you're doing what it takes on a daily basis, some type of movement is bound to happen, is bound to get you closer to what you want. I've spoken to some of you in the last few weeks, some of whom are not on this call and some who are on this call. And we've noticed that, that some believe that they are destined to fail, that they don't have possibilities, that they will never amount to anything. Is this the truth? It is the truth as long as you're willing to accept that truth. If you're not willing to accept that truth, then it's going to be different. It's going to be completely different. But if you're not willing to accept that truth, then what are you doing right now to change that? What are you doing right now to make it different? Because we are all here to have opportunities happen to each and every one of us. I mean, why would you think of it any other way, right? Why would you think of it any other way? As I'm talking from inside my future jet plane, just thought I'd give you a little look into what it's going to seem like. It'll probably have a little bit less seats, but yet it's going to be something like this. I'm living my future self now. That's what we're taught in a lot of these books. That is what the reality should be in each of our lives. Reggie, I love your background. Beautiful sunset. Very beautiful, very powerful. Jeannie, you look amazing in that picture.
You're welcome.
And that should reflect, whatever you're doing on a daily basis should reflect your future self. Some have decided that their future self is in 10 years, some in 20, some in 5, some in 3. But the reality is, are you doing what it needs to be done to get you there? So this weekend, or these last 2 days, I met with a clinic that assists us with improving our daughter's life, who has cerebral palsy and who is yet unable to walk, but she is in the process of improving every day to getting her to walk, to getting her to talk, to getting her to do everything that anyone else can do. Why do I say yet? Because yet is a powerful word mentioned in this book. Yet is a word that I've been mentioning to many of you. So meaning, oh, I can't do that. Is that enough? No, you should be saying, I can't do that yet. The power of yet. We went over this in one of the episodes in my class. I believe Jeannie was part of that class, and Reggie. I don't know if anyone else was, but that is very important. So Unstoppable Confidence. Who is the author? Does anyone know the author? I've muted everybody, so if you need to speak, remember to unmute yourself. Does anyone know who the author Sorry. Kevin Sayer. Kevin Sayer was the author. Is the author. Now, Kevin Sayer was one of the first people to meet Tony Robbins, or one of the earlier groups to meet Tony Robbins many years ago. And Tony Robbins inspired in him to go write a book that would change at least 1 million people's lives through YouTube. I don't know in reference to purchasing his book. I do not know. But I know he has impacted at least 1 million lives. Now, out of 1 million people who've listened to his books, how many people have actually listened to what he's had to say? I don't know. That's another reality that we have to encompass. So confidence and competence. What is the difference between confidence and competence? So are you competent to be a mother or father?
Hey,
You could be.
Dave,
Yes, go ahead.
I think that's people in the waiting room, at least Charles.
He is? Whoops. Sorry. Oh, thank you for that, Reg. I should have that automatically enter as I normally do. Let's see, how do I allow participants? Let's see, where is it here? On the computer, it's a little different than it would be on the, let's see. Normally I have everybody come in. Enable. Okay, there we go. So anyone who joins us can join. Abdul, welcome. Sorry to keep you holding. Charles, sorry to keep you holding. Charles, and I'm sorry. Oh, Charles is on 2 phones. Huh, that's right. So that's good. Charles, I see you double phones. You look awesome. Abdul as well. Abdul, where it's like 3 or 4 in the morning from Africa, is calling us. So we were talking about Unstoppable Confidence, the author Kevin Sayer, and we started out with confidence and competence. So competence, what does it mean? What's the difference between competence and confidence? So competence means, are you an able mother or father? Are you an able worker? Are you an able entrepreneur? Are you an able person willing to do what it takes to accomplish what you want in your life? Confidence means, are you fearless? Are you encouraged enough to pursue what you want? Are you doing the daily, habitual steps to get you closer to what you want? Plain and simple. They're very similar words, but they mean very different things. Knowledge versus clueless. Those are 2 words that relate to confidence, to unstoppable confidence. We are building the knowledge to get you to where you want to, or are you clueless? Meaning you're trying to learn, but you're not learning anything. You should be focused on learning 1 to 3 things. Maybe you can learn more, but at least be grateful if you learn 1 thing from this audiobook. If you learn 2 or 3, great. If you learn more than that, you're superb. You've got it. Unconscious incompetence. Have you heard of this? This is something that I've been told by one of my mentors. Unconscious incompetence. There are 4 types of competences. One of them is unconscious competence. Let me get my notes on that because I just remembered that I had brought that up for you guys. And it's a powerful reminder of everything that we do in this group. Let's see if I have it here. 1 second, 2 seconds. I need a bit more than 1 second. So, and these are very powerful words. Where is it? Let me just look it up on the internet because I've lost it. Let's see. Here we go. So, unconscious incompetence. You are aware of the skill and you lack the proficiency. Unconscious incompetence. You're aware of the skill, but you lack the proficiency. What does that mean? Okay, maybe you know what you need to do. Or maybe you know what has to happen, but you don't know how to get there. For example, you might have you need a hammer, you know you need a screwdriver, Phillips screw, a flathead, and so on, but you don't know the technique, the art of building a house, of making a bed, a doorway. So in whatever it is that you want to pursue, maybe you have the tools, but you don't know how to get there. So that's one type of conscious. What's the second type of conscious? Conscious incompetence. You are aware of the skill, but not yet proficient. All right? You're aware of the skill, but not yet proficient, meaning you know what you want. You have some of the steps that you want to get there, but you're not there yet. Number 3 is conscience competence. You're aware, you're able to use the skill, but only with effort. You need a push, you need accountability, you need someone to drive you, some reason, some purpose, your why to get you there. But the 4th is most powerful. You perform the skill, but it becomes automatic. You don't need your why as present as you do because you need an excuse to get there. It's automatic. You know what your why is. You know that you have to do it. And that's what this book is about, Unstoppable Confidence. You have to find out which level are you right now. Do you know what you want? If you know what you want, are you doing the steps that it takes to get you to that level? If you're doing the steps that it takes, do you know the skill needed to get you there? Do you have the accountability? Are you talking to someone? Are you emulating some type of business? And this is where it all comes in. Unstoppable confidence. All right? Follow through and take action. That's basically the bottom line. There are 9 factors that you need to follow through. Number 1 is experience. You're going to fail. You're going to do mistakes. But that's part of the process. You're taking action. All right? If you're not taking action, then you're not failing. Then you're not getting it wrong. I've gotten it wrong. I wanted to give up. But then I've noticed that my why is bigger than my how. Right? So your experience is very important. Perception. Perception. Do you believe and do you perceive your reality in getting you there? What is your perception? Where do you stand right now? Are you getting closer to where you want to be? Decisiveness. If you've made the decision to go ahead after your task, don't let other people sell you something else. Don't let other people sell you something else, some other opportunity. But you always have to listen to the opportunities. Why? Because you never know when something's going to be offered to you that might be better than what you already have. Because God works in weird ways, in mysterious ways. And he will offer you things that you're not expecting. Although you might be 100% sold that you want this X, but then along comes Y. What happens when it comes? Empowerment. Are you empowered to pursue what you want? Are you associated with a mastermind group just like this one? The mastermind group assists you with empowering yourself. This one specifically through reading, and then every so often we have a more specific oriented personal achieving goal, just like we did last weekend, last Saturday, for some people who have not written down what their visual statement is in 10 years from now, 3 years from now, and so on. Goals. Do you have your goals clearly written down? I would say at least 3 in your business life, in your business, in your financials. How about relationships? 3 more. Spiritual. So get clear on what you want. And then take action on the goals. How? Write down what you need to do. Maybe you don't know everything that needs to be done, but that's where unconscious competence comes in, meaning you're taking steps, but you don't know everything that needs to be done. But as you go up those steps, then things will become clearer on what you need to do next. Motivation. What is your motivation to getting ahead? What is your motivation? Are you taking time to read, to listen to books? Are you taking time to talk to someone about what you want to accomplish? Are you writing down your accomplishments? These are steps for motivation. Momentum. Have you taken 2 months off of your pursuit? If you have, that is not momentum. That is not momentum. And commitment. Are you committed to achieving what you want? These are the 9 factors that Kevin Sayer presents to us in following through and taking action. Commitment. Remember, the universe is perfect. And it wants to help you, Martha, Charles, Jeannie, Alex, Floyd, Reggie, Trudy, Sharon, and Ty, to reach whatever you desire. The universe is perfect, and it wants to help you achieve what you want. So visualize it. Listen to it. You don't have to listen to it daily. Sorry with the revving of the car here. I don't know how we're getting this so loud. Let me see. 1 second. Oh, close the window, a little late, but there it is. So whatever it is that you want, you've got to have it written down. You don't have to review it every few minutes, but if you do, you're going to have it much more closer to your path than you know. All right? Some things take more time than others. How can I be of service today? That's an important question that you need to ask yourself. How can I be of service today?
I have to plug it up.
Because the more you serve others, the more powerful you will be. The more realistic your goals will become. Now, Kevin Sayer asks us to adapt what is known as SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistically timed goals. SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistically timed goals. Meaning, if you're trying to accomplish in a year what takes 10 or 20 years, make it more realistic. I have a goal that by the time I'm 65, I want X amount of money. Why am I telling you X? Because it's a personal thing. You should have it personal. If you want to share it with someone, that's fine. But they should be at least at your level or above. Or maybe they're a millionaire or a billionaire. Why? Because they'll take you more seriously and they'll be able to assist you and guide you in what you want. All right? Dreams. What about dreams? Dreams are for the short term, for the midterm, and for the long term. Why? Why? I don't know why, but last week, Thursday night, I had a dream with cows. Can anyone explain to me, other than laugh, why I had some dreams with cows? When I woke up, my wife said, and my sister-in-law said, seems like a cow licked you. And I was like, man, she knows I had dreams with cows. A cow licked me. I don't know if that's the way it happens, but I got to touch this cow right on its face. I don't know. It was docile, pacified, very docile. I've never had dreams with cows. I know it's a good thing. That's all I can tell you. No matter what you dream about, it's because something good is bound to happen. All right? You could dream of a snake, and a snake will bring you good news. All right? Don't think of the worst situation in whatever you're experiencing. That's the reality. All right? Don't think of the worst situation in whatever it is that's happening. Dreams are for the short term, the midterm, and long term. But one thing that's important with dreams is you've got to put a deadline and you've got to put it down on paper. All right? I know that many of you have deadlines, and maybe some of you haven't met your deadlines. Just like I have with my daughter. I wanted her to be walking by the time she was 7, and April 1st, when she was 7, it didn't happen. So guess what? I renewed my goals. So by the time she's 10, I want her walking, because I have to make it realistic. I know it takes a lot of work. I was told this from the beginning, that it could take anywhere from 2 to 10 years. 2 to 10 years. So I'm putting it to 10, because if it happens before that, guess I'm patting myself on the back, having a party when this happens, and I'll invite all of you. You know, not that I'm a millionaire today, but I am a millionaire today. Does that make sense? You are millionaires. You are millionaires. Each and every one of you is a millionaire. Each and every one of you is a millionaire. Don't look at it any other way. You've got to claim your money. Ask yourself, where is this money? Where is it coming from? What do I have to do to get it? And what's the important question that's said to achieve this? Help me. The universe is perfect and it wants to help me in what I want. How? How can I be of service today to others? That's one. How can I acquire my monetary goals? That's two, right? That's two. So very important into this book is that this book has many other things to offer. But I don't want to give you all of that. What I want to leave you with in this book is that whatever goals you have, you need someone to communicate about them. Maybe you can send a picture or part of a picture, or send a text to someone and say, hey, these are my goals. Is there anything that you can think of that can assist me? This is where I'm at. This is where I'm stuck. This is what where I've gotten to. Maybe you'll get a book for a reference. Maybe you'll get someone who has some experience in acquiring what you need to acquire. Or maybe you just need to hear someone, and as they start to talk, you're going to get clearer and more specific on where you want to go, just like I do. When I talk to someone about my goals, I get clearer just because I wanted to reach out to someone. The Bible says, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened. I believe it. Visualize. Write it down. Ask the questions that are necessary. And what happens? You're going to get it or you're going to get something better. You're going to get it or you're going to get something better. All right? That's it. That's the bottom line. So this is it for my review of this book. And I'm going to make these, every time we have these on a weekly basis, brief. Because I find that if we go for an hour, I can talk for an hour, you can talk for an hour, we lose ourselves. We need 20 minutes of just hearing me, and then I need a few minutes of hearing you guys. All right? Because you are as important as everyone else is in this group. And I want to know, what did you get out of this book? Is there anything that I can learn from you? Whatever it is, it could be something that I said. Whatever it is. Does anyone want to comment on this book? Anyone? It doesn't matter. I'm going to unmute some of the lines. If I hear a noise, then I'll unmute you all back. Go ahead. Anyone want to? Some of you are still muted, but does anyone want to communicate on what they learned in reference to this book?
I can say something.
Martha, yes, Martha.
I learned perception, goals, action, and momentum.
Perception, goals, action, and momentum. Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. Those are part of the 9 factors. Part of the 9 factors that he mentioned, which I mentioned here. Perfect. Thank you, Martha. Anything else, Martha? Or
Talking about motivation.
Yes, correct.
And yeah, it's talking about visualize in your mind what you want to do.
Correct.
And yeah, taking action, mental. You have to have mental techniques.
Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous,
What
fabulous.
you need, what you
Fabulous.
want.
Fabulous.
And they talking about habits. To have habits, to do the habits, try to do it every day, and close your eyes and visualize what you want to do when you close your eyes. All you want to do with your life, or you want to drink, or you want to do, or budget to the time. Don't waste time. Try to write what you have to do every day. That way you're not wasting any time. And
Thank you. Yes.
follow all your motivation and write journal, confident journal.
Yes,
The
the journal is very important,
one.
and I know many of the people in this group keep a journal, and it's very, very powerful. You don't have to
Yeah.
write many pages, but it's very important in many ways. And if anyone needs any ideas or any suggestions on a journal, just get on my calendar or send me a message, and we'll get talking in the next 24 to 48 hours. That's a new promise to many of the people in this group. Thank you, Martha, for sharing. I'd like to give someone else a chance here to communicate as well. What did you learn? Anyone else? I see some people smiling, and I love that. They're smiling. They've got a lot to say.
Well, David, I picked up
Charles.
about the certain words,
Yes,
like don't let your butts get in your way, and your
that's
wouldn't
right.
and your tries.
Yes,
That was very good at the end, and something I remember from years ago. We put that back to memory, and saying your goals, like writing it down, going over it daily, and then putting an action to that goal. And then it's sort of like what you were saying, competence versus confidence. Competence means we have the ability to do, but the confidence is actually going ahead and doing it and not feeling like rejected. But as he was talking about dating in the beginning, you know, he couldn't talk to girls, so he picked up drinking. And then after a while, he had to figure out that drinking really wasn't the way
that's
to get the
right.
confidence. He was just getting outside of himself.
That's
But
right.
even in getting outside of himself, it gave him opportunity to look at other options that he could do to get to his goals and be more popular and be more accepted. And the main thing, he really, the confidence comes within, like you were saying earlier, the unconsciousness. You know, you have to be confident in yourself first before you develop it on the outside. So, but watching what you say is definitely key towards the end.
Got it. I'm gonna in the review of this, in the recording, when I put the recording, I'm gonna put the picture of the 4 types of consciousness. But if anyone wants it any other way, I mean, you can send me a message privately or anything, but you'll be able to get it from that video as I post it up in a little while after this call. Thank you, Charles, for sharing. That's very true. You reminded me of what I read twice this past week, or listened to. Sorry, I didn't read. Thank you, Charles. Anyone else want to comment? A lot of the other smiley faces that are here.
I don't mind commenting.
Hi. Yes. Trudy. Yes. Hi.
Yeah, somebody's line needs to be muted though. I don't know whose line it is.
Got it. Let me see.
Might be mine.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Is that better? Hold on. I hear kids, but I don't know
Yeah.
who it is.
I think Floyd's is the only line that's not muted.
Let's see.
So that might Floyd and Reggie.
There we go. Okay, that's
Yeah,
right. It was
okay.
Floyd, but that's okay. That happens to
Thank
all of us.
you.
It's happened
Yeah,
to
no,
me as
I
well.
understand. It's just hard for me to speak when
Correct.
I hear a lot of noise.
Well, when you speak, I listen. We listen. All right? We listen.
Just as much as we love to hear you speak, David, because you always have such great information to share. But thank you.
Thank you.
This is an incredible book, as are all the books that we've been listening to. Couple of things. One of the key notes I made was when you believe in yourself, others will also believe in you. So, the book is really about confidence. So therefore, absolutely, confidence is so essential to our success. And when you mentioned about the 4 levels of competence, it reminded me, because I also, heard about I heard what they had to say about it in the book, but it reminded me of my very, very, very first meeting with the Rich Way.
Yes.
I kind of jumped on board with the Rich Way, like just a couple of days maybe before they had that conference in Houston last May.
Year, yes.
So, yeah, last year. And so when I got there, that was one of the things that Ricky had spoken about
Yes.
before levels of competence. And I thought it was quite interesting, and I actually took notes then. So this was a good refresher and a good reminder of the
Excellent.
different levels of competence.
Now you know
But,
one of the
I didn't listen
books
to,
that mentions it.
yes, yes, yes. I mean, I thought it was good information. I'm like, wow, he's smart. Where'd you get that information? So
Right?
now I
Right?
know.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I hadn't gotten through all the book, but I did listen to at least an hour. And, I don't want to repeat what everybody else has already shared. But one of the other things I think I can add, and I think this was the book that I got the information, because I've been listening to a lot of other books and doing different seminars and stuff. So my brain is just like being infused with a lot of information. And sometimes I get confused as to what channel that information came through. But I think this was a book that talked about confidence versus arrogance.
Yes.
And, people who are arrogant aren't necessarily confident, but it's like they have to flex their muscle to come across as though they're confident, because they're actually lacking in self-confidence. And so, as you go about your daily activities, what have you, and you encounter people, my reminder is, because somebody seem louder or come across as more dominant in their personality, look for the quiet confidence that is not arrogant in itself. But when a person is confident, they don't have to show it. They don't have to boast, or they don't have to brag. But
Correct.
the confidence will be seen and expressed in how they relate and interact and elevate and help others. An arrogant person is very self-serving and self-seeking, but a confident person really lends a hand to others to help
Yes.
others up.
That's
So
correct.
I thought that was very
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Trudy. And I appreciate that you took the time to listen to part of the book, because that is what this is about. It's not trying to get you to do homework as much as to build your knowledge account. That's what this is about. Build your knowledge account. Thank you, Trudy. Anyone else would like to add? There are so many things in this book. Yes,
I'll mention.
Reggie.
Actually, that's funny because Trudy covered part of what I was actually going to cover, which was that whole arrogant piece. It's fine, but I'll add to that in that I'll say that. So there are the scenarios where so I'll say, like she mentioned, there are scenarios where you have people who are loud and boast, they bolster and they're braggadocio or whatever. They're like, oh, and they're trying to present themselves as being so confident, but ultimately it's just a facade.
Yes.
Because really what they have going on there is maybe like insecurities and lacking in self-esteem and so on and so forth. So they use that as a way to cover that up so that you don't penetrate and get in there and find out what's really going on. But then on the other side, you have people, because I've been accused of this, of being like actually there's two parts of it. There are people, where I've been accused in certain scenarios, like for example, knowing my job really well, or knowing something really well, where people start to think that you're arrogant because you know your stuff so well, because you carry a certain swag. But it's just that you just really, really know what you're doing, and you know how to convey it, you know how to relay it. And then on the other side, what happens is you have people who actually tend to be, they feel like threatened by you, or and they shouldn't, but they may feel lesser because they don't know what you know in that area. So it's like, hey, it's not about that, because if you've gotten to a point of proficiency and you just really know how to do something, you really know how to convey, you really know how to relay, you really know how to teach it, then you come across with an easiness, or come across with a smoothness, come across with the ability to convey that information in a way that you can impart it to people that they're like, wow, this guy really knows. And they're kind of really coming to you, asking for your help, asking for your, the information that you have, because they realize like, you know what you're talking about. But then on the other side of that, just to kind of add to that, is that you can be that way, but then you could also be the person who knows and is able to convey, relay, and be of benefit and give people information. But then you can also get to the point where you start to act arrogant.
Yes.
There's that. Like, you can know your stuff and know it well, and instead of just being cool about it, you can start to act like a butthead about it. So you have all of those scenarios, right? So you know, adding to what Trudy said,
That's
because she did
correct.
cover it, but
That's correct.
just adding to how like the arrogance could play into one of those number of different scenarios. So, you know, from my end is to sort of, because I tend to be a little, I know I can be a little arrogant in some respects, and I know I'm being that sometimes, and it's kind of like, let me back off and not be that way.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm like, you know, if I know what I know, you kind of just, you know, it's like, hey, celebrate what you know, but just don't, you know, you don't have to be, you know, ASS about it. So
That's correct. That's correct. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Reggie. Arrogance is something that we all need to avoid because it only brings us down. It doesn't get us to where we want to get to. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you, Reggie, for sharing. Anyone else want to share?
Hi. Hi, David. Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
Who this?
I
Ty?
think
Jeannie?
Reggie, Trudy, and Charles both covered everything
Hello.
that I have to say. But one part that I remember I read in the book that was very interesting is when it says that you may be so skillful, like Reggie was saying, and then you know your stuff, you know what you do, and you are very competent at it. But on the same token, you may not have confidence because if you know, by knowing the skills, so that it says that you need confidence because confidence is a key to your success. So no matter how proficient you may be at a skill, but you need to be confident to, you know, to show the skill, not in a so this also have like, you know, open up because sometimes, you know, we may know something and we are not confident. We are good at it and we know that it's well in the palm of our hand. We are proficient, but still there's a lack of confidence to actually feel like, you know, what I'm doing is right. And then I know it, it's my skill and I'm good at it. But if you lack confidence, so then it just like, it's dead. It's won't really show your success.
That's correct. Thank you. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that, Jeannie, from the Poconos. Thank you, Jeannie. Anyone else would like to add with Jeannie to what with this conversation? Anyone?
I like that point that Jeannie made, because you do have a lot of people who have a level of proficiency and skill, but because of the confidence, and I see it even at my work, you know, especially and this is partly because like, you know, in this world it's kind of chauvinistic. So a lot of the women tend to like that I work with, especially the younger women, they're usually like saying sorry when they don't need to and being apologetic. And I'm like, stop saying sorry. I tell them that all the time. And you know, and I'll see where they, you know, they may know certain things, and not just the women, a lot of the younger generation too. But they'll know something, but they're not confident enough. So they have the answer, but yet at the same time they want to fact check it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like if 2 + 2 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, no one should be able to sway you from that. So I happen to see that all the time where like they know this thing, and I'm like, this is it. This is the answer without a doubt. Then maybe they interact with a client or another peer, and that peer or client like interrupts their thoughts in their head, and then they'll say, "Oh, I just needed to double check that," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, there is no double checking 2 + 2 is 4." So it's like a weird thing, but I understand where people can be that way, but that just shows you where there's a lack of confidence that keeps you from being able to stand secure in where you are and make sure that, you know, there's nothing that can kick you off of your foundation. Because once you know something, like I use the term know, like once you know, like there's no interrupting no, right?
That's
So
right.
confidence can, you know, the lack of confidence can keep you from having a place where the no is like cemented. And that's a weird thing, but I've definitely seen that a number of times where people get thrown off of their foundation because of some crack in their confidence level that leads them to being able to be swayed when they shouldn't be. So I've definitely noticed that as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Reggie.
You're welcome.
Sharon or Ruth, would you like to share anything? Or Floyd?
This is Sharon. I have to drop off for another call, but I'm glad that I got a chance to come on and listen. I did not get to review the book yet or start listening to it, but that is on my list of things to do for this week. So I
Got it.
appreciate everything that you do to give us books that we've never heard of, because there are some books that you posted that I have already read, but this one I hadn't.
Excellent.
And so I'm looking forward to listening to this particular book, but I
Well,
just haven't done it yet. But I thank you for the review, because it gave me more a push to go ahead and get it listened to this week.
so before you go off, just the good news is we're going to do from this week on, we're going to do a short book one week and then a longer listening book the next week, the following week, because most books are an average 46 hours, just so you're aware. But the book that's coming this week is about 2 hours long. So that way it gives people a chance to catch up. And, if you need any more pointers on how to listen to the audio quicker, just send me a message. All right. Thank you, Sharon, for sharing. So we've got Floyd and Ruth left, right? Is this Ruth? Or yes, I see you.
Me?
Hi. Yes. Hi.
It's
Jeannie.
Gina.
Oh, but it says Alex, so I'm trying to guess.
Yeah, that's okay.
So
people confuse us a lot. But anyway, I like your earplay.
right? Thank you. You're welcome. If you want to come on, let's go.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, and Charles Peter, I like your background as
yeah,
well.
I was debating on whether you're using that background, but they're both good.
Yeah.
They're Reggie's as well. I like the background. Trudy too.
Yeah.
You have a nice background there. Yes.
Anyway, I just want to kind of emphasize the importance of using a journal. And I remember watching Oprah one time, and she was talking about that. And I do keep what is called a gratitude journal. And because sometimes I like writing, and I can get carried away at times at night. I realize I can just sit there and keep writing and writing and writing and not go to bed. And so her idea of the gratitude journal is put 3 to 5 things on there that that blessings that happened to you today. So it makes you go back and think about your day, and some of the things that happened that you might even have overlooked, just by thinking okay, what can I be grateful for today?
Yes.
And it amazes me sometimes what I come up with, even and I'm thinking I didn't have that much stuff going on today, but I can always find something to be grateful for, and I come up more than 5 usually.
Very good.
So,
excellent.
Yeah, that's something that I feel like I can't go to bed until I do that one, and that's a real good habit for me.
The reality is we think we have to work 16 hours a day to accomplish whatever it is that we want, when in actuality we just have to find balance. Put in an average 2 to 4 hours on what you want to accomplish in life. Maybe you only have 1 hour, then put in 1 hour a day. Eventually it'll get there. It's going to take a little bit longer, but I mean, if you can put in 16 hours, then put in 16 hours. If you don't have a family, you don't have other commitments, then you can put it in. I have a family, I have commitments, so I try and balance it out as best I can. And at times I slip off, but I have to jump right back on to the schedule. So thank you, Ruth, for sharing that. Very powerful. Anybody else? Maybe Floyd wants to contribute. I don't know if he's listening or not. Yes, Floyd.
What's up, David?
Hey, how you doing, Floyd?
I'm doing good, man. I'm out doing some yard work.
You look awesome.
But I didn't get a chance to go review the book.
Okay.
So I will be doing that this week. But I definitely appreciate the information that's been put out there, and truly understand that self-confidence is highly important. But I will review the book, check it out, and implement it.
Thank you. Thank you, Floyd. Thank you. I appreciate that for you joining us, number 1. 2 is what we're going to go over this book is guaranteed that within 6 months to a year's time, you're going to be a completely different person. Completely different, each and every one of us. So I want to summarize this with 3 things from this book. Number 1, there's no specific order, but number 1, Kevin Sayer mentions that we often acquire the use of certain words in our vocabulary that we have to stop using.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is it easy to get off of them? Not yet. All right? Not yet. Don't say no. Not yet. Okay? Is it easy to get away from these negative words? Not yet. Do not say no. That's one of the words that he wants us to stop using. And it's not about him. It's about us. All right? If somebody tells you, man, you know, the scientists are killing us. They're creating these vaccines to kill us. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. Don't say that. All right? They're trying to make money. Okay? That's number one purpose. Are you trying to make money? Right? Are you trying to kill people? Nobody's trying to necessarily kill people. They're trying to save people, but in a monetary aspect. If you're not thinking about money, don't blame it on the scientists who are trying to produce a money-making vaccine to cure people. Right? There are other ways that are sound possibilities to cure yourself from any of these ailments, specifically the chest, diabetes, cancer, psoriasis, eczema, libido. There's many of these ailments are reversible one way or another, or improvable, because I don't know every single ailment out there, but I know it for a fact. And some of you who share these beliefs, like Sharon and Jeannie and Alex, know what I'm talking about. Reggie, I believe. I don't know anybody else here, but I'm certain that you know what I'm talking about. So use the proper words. Don't think that there is lack, that there is no more money out there, that you're going to be poor for the rest of your life, that could, should, or would. Those are horrible words for us to use. I use them all the time. So I've stopped using them. That's it. I've stopped using them. Should, could, would. I will not use them anymore. Okay? Yet. Don't ever say, no, you cannot do this. Say, I cannot do this yet. All right? That's number one. Number two, the law of attraction. Right? Do you have a vision board? Do you have dreams? All right? Are you thinking about these daily? If not daily, at least once a week. That's what Kevin Sayers says, once a week. I believe you need to have these present every day. If you want $100 million, you've got to have that in your mind everywhere you see it. You see a penny on the floor, you pick it up, and what do you say? This is getting closer to $100 million. Isn't that powerful? Right? You see a penny. That's for me. I'm getting closer to my $100 million, to my $600 million, to my $1 billion, whatever your goal is. All right? Is this crazy? Anyone? Is this a crazy idea?
No.
Right? It's not. So make sure that whatever comes your way is getting you closer to your reality. All right, people? Number three, fear. You're going to hear this every day. Every day you're going to hear this. Okay? What am I talking about? All right? What am I talking about? I don't want to go outside. I'm afraid I'm going to get ill. I don't want to go to a hotel. I don't want to go to a restaurant. I don't want to go to the movies. I don't want to go shopping. I'm afraid. I fear that I'm going to get ill. Listen, if you're going to get ill, you're going to get ill at home. All right? Most people get ill at home. What do I mean by this? How about allergies? Sinus problems? Headaches? How about food? You're going to have these problems no matter where you go. Is there a safe place to survive from dying, from getting ill?
No.
Who has the specific plan to survive not having to die? Nobody, right? So we're all going to die. Remember, we read this book two weeks ago. What did it say? Become communicative with death. Accept it. It's going to happen someday. But tell it, I'm not ready to die now. I'm ready to die in 100 years from now. So when it comes, I'll be ready. I'll accept it. But I don't want it now because I've got a lot of things to accomplish. I have my goals. And when I accomplish my goals, I'm going to have new goals. Amen. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a pastor yet. But I'm not going to be a pastor, but but the reality is you need to be aware that I've posted some things that are very important keys that you need to follow every day. I posted, I believe it was Can anyone help me out? Was it Mark at the beginning when we started this new group? Does anyone remember? Let's see. I'm looking it up as if anyone remembers.
March 15th, I believe. March 15th.
Mark.
I think.
So Mark chapter 11 verses 22 to 24. Have faith in God. You don't believe in God? You Buddha, your infinite intelligence. Jesus answered. This is what it says according to the Bible. So truly, I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, go throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. The Bible leaves us clues. So does the Quran. So does whatever other books, religions. Why do I say this? Because I have a book, a simple book, that goes over all the similarities in the religions, about 40 different similarities in religions, in different religions. So religions are very similar. However, they cater to a specific type of person, to those who were born in a specific region, who were taught a specific type of way of thinking. None of them are wrong. None of them are 100% correct. All right? We all have errors. However, learn from your errors. Fix it. You know, Gina, I believe, taught me something last week, the utilitarian religion, right? Unitarian. And I looked it up. I have not attended a service yet. I want to know what it's about. Trudy, can you list me where I can attend one so I know what they are about?
Well, I don't know. I guess you could probably look it up for your location.
New York,
but
right?
I do have a cousin who lives in Georgia, and I've been to visit her a few times, and I've been to her Unitarian church.
Yes.
And it was quite interesting.
So that's what I want to hear. You see?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Genia.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell us how interesting it was.
Well, it's and again, I'm not judgmental in any kind of way. It was different from my traditional worship experience.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really make mention of God or Jesus or any God in particular. It was about our higher
power.
Infinite intelligence by any chance?
I don't remember specifically what the name was that they might have used.
That's fine.
And their worship experience is a little different from traditional worship. But you know, the thing that I got from it is still nonetheless a people who the mindset was positive, and there was a positivity. There was a positivity in the atmosphere, you know,
Very good.
and the people around and so on and so forth. There was a non-judgmental atmosphere, but you know, quite interesting.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. My experience, if you don't mind me saying, has been the same. It's a bit different. And I hear, you know, people, or I read about people who gone visited the Unitarian church. And I'm not trying to, you know, saying that you're supposed to go to whatever church. But anyway, they said that when they got there, they felt like they have finally arrived. And I went there last year. I think it was last year, maybe a couple of years ago. And it was for Easter, and they were Lord of the Dance. They were singing Lord of the Dance, and I found it very fascinating, and I loved it. I went back a few Sundays, you know, and I go every now and then. I'm part of their membership now, but I'm also in go to other churches as well. So I like visiting people. And
thank you for sharing, ladies. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate this. I know that we have I believe a pastor in our group, which is Jeannie Petroni, but I don't know if she can mention anything in reference to that. But anyhow, what I want to leave you with is, don't be sold on fear. If you hear people are fearful of going to a hotel, going to a clinic, going to a hospital, hey, where else are you going to be served if you have an emergency, right? I was at a hotel this weekend with my family. Were we afraid? No. Did we follow rules? Yes. We were told to have a mask on when we were in the building. We had a mask. Some people didn't have a mask, right? Don't be afraid. Life is going to happen whether you're afraid or not. You hear people talk of lack, of being afraid, walk away. Just say something that's the opposite of what they're saying. You know, oh, I'm afraid to go outside. Afraid of outside? That's all you have to say. Afraid of outside? I'm afraid to stay inside. Say the opposite, right? Say the opposite, okay? And I mean, you should not be afraid. You should not fear. Okay, we were told to stay inside for the quarantine period. I believe it's long overdue for us to come out and embrace the new world that we have allowed to depollutionize in an amazing way. Another reality is that warmer climates have less of an amount of people who have been contracted with this virus. Just be aware. Why? I don't know. Maybe because they're taking more sun than we are. Hint, hint. Sun, S-U-N. Get some sun out there, all right? Especially the one that shines before 10 a.m. All right?
David, did you say that warmer? What was that? I didn't hear that. My daughter.
Warmer climates are having less experiences with this virus. The only exception to date is Mexico that I'm aware of.
Oh.
Why? Because Mexico City is way overpopulated. So I don't know beyond that. I haven't checked out all the statistics. It's going to come out eventually. But the reality is the warmer climates have had less of a contact with all of these illnesses. And all I can tell you is get out there and enjoy it. Have your caution. Don't be on top of other people, but don't be afraid to go out and experience the world. Okay? You have been taught in these last 2 months to save money indirectly. Don't spoil it. Don't go out there and spend it all on the first day. All right?
David, can I say something?
Yes, Jeannie?
I know you just say that the warmer climate have less experience in what's doing it with the pandemic. So I strongly recommend that we actually protect ourselves, but we
Correct.
have to understand also some of these warmer climate when we are talking about, which are the Caribbean. With statistics is not always 100% accurate. You have to remember that we live in a culture that in a warmer climate where we actually feel like it's taboo to have a certain type of disease. So people may be dying there and they are not being reported. And some people actually may die at home and it's not being counted for. So we also have to be very careful as watching what is going on to this warmer climate and think that truthfully that people are not dying. And I can tell you that I live as a Cuban, Bahamian, Haitians, and I can tell you that people actually feel like it's a taboo to have certain type of disease. So they won't talk about it.
Correct.
And they will
That's
not
right.
say that they die of it, and
That's
in
correct.
the hospital will not report it either. So these also are not completely, with statistics, not completely accurate.
Correct. Thank you, Jeannie. But again, I do stress, yes, the virus exists. Protect yourself when you're in close proximity to people. But this is not going to be forever. We've got to get back to our normal lives. Don't be afraid for the rest of your life. You should be taking care of your health immediately. Within the next year, you should be improved your health. You should have, if you need to improve, because I don't know where you are at with your health. My wife says I've lost weight while I'm home. Why? Because I don't eat a lot. Most of us want to eat more when we're home, right? So just be careful. Maybe I eat a lot, but it's a lot of carrots, a lot of salads and soups. And my wife wants me to eat more rice. And I tend to leave it on the plate, which is hard to do. Rice is addictive. So just be aware of that. All right? It is. So this is my promise to you. This session has ended on Unstoppable Confidence. And I just wanted to go over what my promise to you is in this class, because I'm almost ready to post what the promise will be. But these are two things I want to let you know. Number one, my reviews are going to be maximum 20 to 25 minutes. All right. I want to hear from each and every one of you, if possible, if you want to contribute. If you don't, then you remain quiet. All right. Number three, is that if you need to communicate with me within 24 to 48 hours, I will make myself available, even for a few minutes. So depending on your urgency, it will usually be within 24 to 48 hours. Unless you need it more urgent, then I'll make it myself available within an hour or two of when you need me, usually. All right? So this is it for today's Mastermind Book Club session. This book is very powerful. Apply it to your life. All right? If you want money in your life, then you've got to start thinking that money is all around you, that you have to visualize it like I do on a daily basis. I see mounds and mounds of money. All right? Do you see mounds and mounds of money? You should be seeing it. All right? Smile. Money's out there. Go get it. All right? Thank you, everyone. This is it for our session today, Mastermind Book Club. And this week's book, again, is going to be about 2 hours long. So allowing you a chance to catch up to any of the things that you want. And remember, if you need to listen to it on a quicker basis, as you've gotten used to listening to books, there's this feature on YouTube that allows you to listen to these books a little bit quicker. All right? So everyone, this is it. Thank you for today's class. Thank you, everyone. You have been amazing, and I'm here to serve. How can I help you? Let me know. All right? Take care. Thank you.
Hey,
Have a great
David.
evening. Yes.
I had a question I didn't want to ask.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you were recording, it's not something that needs to be on the recorder.
Hold on. I'm
But,
going to take it off of recording right